current ranking needs to update a bit. But yeah, rank 2 on the server. However, I am the only Dagger crossbow until my boy Raitu rank 6. So I'm currently rank 1 crossbow on the server. Alright, now I want to show you guys how I achieved this. It's going to be through multiple different methods of PvP, some solo, some group. Very, very diverse content that I've been doing, all sorts of PvP content. But I'm going to show you guys how you can be just as good as me, if not better than me, in these forms of content. PvE and PvP builds and skills. I'm going to go ahead and hop into the skills. As you'll see here, this is my PvE loadout. For maximum damage, you would want to use Bloodlust instead of Shadow Walker. However, I have spec'd out of Bloodlust just for the extra evasion on Shadow Walker. And then another thing that is very good is I have started using the detection, which increases evasion. But for PvE, you really want maximum damage. The only thing is that, like I said, I don't have enough skill books to level all of these passives. So as of right now, I am using the defensive passives. These are mostly for PvP, but like I said, for maximum damage, you would want Bloodlust. Definitely Bloodlust. And for PvE, Destructive Fang, but I have stopped using this for PvP. For the specific purpose of archers. But let me go ahead and just go a bit more in detail on my PvE build and my mentality behind it. I'm using Detonation Mark to do massive damage to the single target. You can also Detonation Mark into Barrage. But I'm also using Inject Venom for the extra poison and the offhand damage on Inject Venom hit or second hit. Mother Nature to buff my projectiles. This build focuses heavily on resets and maximum damage on wave shot, quickfire resets with nimble leap, and recoil shot resets with nimble leap. Big AoE on Annihilation Barrage with the extra gale because it adds extra damage every 10th hit. Weak point shots increase crit damage for the party as well as me. The difference in my PvE and PvP build is that, well, this is PvX. Difference in my PvE and PvX is just, so I'm running sustain, but I'm also running a lot of evasion, smoke screen. This is really good for 1vx as well as open world PvX, right? PvE and PvP. The difference between this one and my main PvP spec is that I don't have the mana sustain in my actual PvP build, and I'm also using knife throwing in PvX for the slow, right? Whereas in PvP, like this is more small scale PvP, dedicated PvP build. I'm using Detonation Mark because it just does more damage. Knife throwing is really good for the slow. Detonation Mark deals more damage. However, they both apply a debuff to healing, so it's really important to have one of these in your build. I think they're both very good though. Quickfire, recoil shot, main DPS skills, cleaving moonlight. I'm using brutal incision in my dedicated PvP build, where I would have smoke screen, but then I'm not using injection anymore, and man exchange is only for PvX, so I can slot smoke screen here. Like I said, the main thing about this version of the build is that one thing you can do also as well is stack both evasions here for PvP. But the one thing about this build is that I am not using Inject Venom, which is a huge change. But the main reason that I'm not using it is, like I said, it's to counter longbow players, because their longbow players passive actually procs upon applying a weaken, and inject venom is a weaken. So you proc a shield on any longbow user you hit with this skill. So I've stopped using it in PvP, and as such, it's only blue. Yeah, but let me go ahead and show you guys the rotation. Like I said, your main DPS skills are quickfire, recoil. So a rotation is going to look like quickfire, recoil, cleaving moonlight into another quickfire, recoil, or quickfire, recoil, cleaving moonlight into recoil, into nimble leap, into quickfire, recoil, because every movement skill or mobility skill resets recoil shot, and then nimble leap being a movement skill or mobility skill resets recoil shot, but it also resets quickfire. So let me show you guys what this looks like. Alright, so that's the shadow step combo. You basically shadow strike, cleaving moonlight into quickfire, recoil, and then you can nimble leap, detonate, quickfire, recoil. The combo when you are starting up close is going to look like quickfire, recoil, cleaving moonlight, quickfire, recoil, nimble leap, quickfire, recoil, nimble leap, quickfire, recoil, cleaving moonlight, brutal incision. They should have been dead by now, honestly, though. But as you guys see, I am basically alternating between quickfire, recoil, cleaving moonlight, reset, recoil, nimble leap to reset both, or nimble leap, detonate, and then quickfire, recoil. Your main DPS skills, like I said, are these three. The detonation is to just make sure that you're securing that kill. When you are spinning, one thing that I have been bombing with is this stamina decrease with the detonation bonus damage and the transfer to enemies. So if I am bombing, AoE bombing, you're going to channel step in, drop a smoke screen into your spin. If you kill that target, then that detonate, and all those win stacks are gonna go to every single person in the raid, as well as the stamina decrease, meaning no one can move. That is the best way to follow up as a bomber on xbow. Some other good things to know is whenever you are being targeted, with any dagger class, you can dodge roll into a stealth. If the dodge roll doesn't perfect block, then you get stealth. If you don't get stealth automatically from perfect blocking a fury attack, then you can go into stealth manually. That is the best way to escape with on any class that has dagger offhand, but definitely need to know that on xbow, because you are a very, very aggressive DPS, but you are squishy. You have to play very aggressive, but you're squishy. That's why you need maximum evasion and quick damage output. And you have to utilize your mobility skills. Nimble leap is an iframe, so keep that in mind. When you nimble leap and have the immune skill specialization, you become immune to stun. I don't use it in my bomb spec, but in my actual PvX spec, obviously I'm using it. In my bomb spec, it doesn't matter because I'm going in and I just want to do damage. I want to do as much damage as possible. Yeah. But yeah, that is how you guys are going to play in PvP. In PvE, the skill combos are mostly the same. The only difference is that you're using mana exchange for your like mana sustain, and the biggest tip that I can give you in PvE is to toggle Mother's Nature. Don't have this on 24/7 because it will drain your mana. When your mana gets about half, you want to toggle this off and just focus on inject venom to buff your attacks. Alright, yeah, so now that I've shown you guys the skills, what I'm actually going to do is just show you my gear, my stats. I'm almost 240 dex, 30 strength, 30 perception, This is only like really end of day 4, day 5, right? 2.6k combat power, fully traded weapon, hit, heavy, crit. The most important stat is a heavy attack chance. Heavy attack chance. Hit is also really important though, but heavy attack chance just does massive damage, especially on this class because you have so many chances to heavy hit. We have our helmet, melee evasion. We are specking mostly melee evasion because melee is our biggest problem because they have the most CC. If we go in and we get bound, whatever, we can still do damage. But if we go in and we get stunned by a melee user, we're just screwed. So for this version of the game, yeah, we are countering melee and mostly magic. My current evasions in this gear is 1200 melee and 550 magic. Only 198 ranged. Um, yeah, this gear will also be in the Questlog in the description. You can go through it. What my ideal gear sets will look like. I'm building more for bonus damage, and if I get a T1 crossbow, amazing. I want Rex Chimeras, but I'm also looking for a T1 staff, so we'll see what I get first. Um, Another important thing is just always use Stellarite in PvP. It is a huge bonus damage, and if you craft the better Stellarite, you get 15% weapon damage instead of 10%. And that is a huge difference. That is a huge difference, believe it or not. So, yeah, those are my stats. Those are my gear, my weapons, everything. Um, you guys now know enough to be better than me, hopefully. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please join the Discord. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love, you guys.